Good morning.
Good morning.
Don, you're always the first one on.
Morning, Bill.
Good morning, Don. How are you?
Wonderful.
Happy to be up, right?
Amen.
Me too.
Morning, Joanne.
I think Joanne's always the first one.
I thought you were the first one.
No, she's up earlier than anybody.
Barbara, are you having to let each person in?
Yes.
Oh, well, that does give you some control, though. That's probably a good
Yeah,
idea.
I think that's why they instituted that, because there were people logging on to, not on ours, but on other Zoom calls that
Yeah, a lot of
shouldn't be on
freshmen.
there. Yeah.
Right.
Morning, Mike. I can read your lips, but I can't hear you.
Okay. Good morning, Barbara. Good morning, Don Wasson. Good morning, Bill Lawson. Good morning, Joanne. And I can't tell who that is, but it says Jim is connected.
It's Jim, but I don't know which Jim. How's your nose?
It's very good. It's still healing. It's still got a scab, but it's not okay.
Good.
It takes 4 months is what they told me. Like,
Yeah. I've got an appointment to go back in and get it looked at by the doctor in about a week.
and Barbara, I'm proudly wearing this black eye I got a week ago when I had eye surgery. So,
Looking good. So you just had it on one eye?
yeah, I just needed it on one side.
Yeah, Alan had that several years ago on both eyes. He looked like a raccoon for quite a while.
Yeah, well, I had it on the same eye. I had it done 20 years ago. I have a partial paralysis on that side of my face, so it makes it worse. And the doctor told me when I went in this time and he looked at it, he said, those really are only good for 10 or 15 years. I squeezed 20 out of this one.
Oh.
So hopefully I only have to have it done a couple of more times.
I get you to 100, maybe 110.
Yeah.
Good morning, Jim Connor.
Morning, Jim.
Good morning. I had to get unmuted.
Join the club.
Oh, good. Our speaker is joining.
Can you hear me?
Good morning,
Good morning,
Ibrahim.
Yaouaba. Yaouaba, good morning.
Good morning, Barbara.
Welcome.
Thank you. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Just getting up from bed.
I hope so. We were going to see each other in Hawaii.
Sure, sure, sure. Come on, read white man.
Oh, good morning, kids.
Good morning.
Good morning. You're up early.
No, it's late in the afternoon for them.
Oh, sorry.
They're dialing in from Cameroon.
Oh.
Yes, it's already afternoon here.
About 2
Who is
o'clock.
that? It's getting to 2 p.m.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
VJ, you look like your hair's on fire.
Yeah.
There, that's better.
Is that better?
Yeah.
What are those who sit out there? You
There.
want to see white man?
Is that better?
That's VJ.
It's on fire again.
Is that VJ?
Yes.
You'll end up like me, VJ.
Hey, Abram,
Yes, I can see you, sir.
I can see you too. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are the elections?
We don't know yet.
We're not talking.
Yeah.
Good. Okay.
We don't know.
This is Sudais and this is Rufaida.
How old are they?
Sudais is 6 years and Rufaida is 3 years old.
Ah,
Yes, and their mom is not far. She's in the kitchen. I think she would like to say bye-bye, goodbye to all greetings before the meeting starts. Come and greet. What? Come and greet Barbara and her friends.
Hello.
Hi,
hello, good afternoon.
good afternoon, ma.
It's so good to see you all.
Same here.
She is also a new Rotarian.
Welcome.
Wonderful.
That's wonderful.
Thank you.
Okay, you can go back. Go and keep the car. Bye-bye, kids.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, kids.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Rufaida, bye-bye. Bye-bye, Rufaida. So this is our club, Kumbu. Don't know if you can see.
Yes. If you all will put it on speaker view, you all can see that better. Okay, show it again. Yeah.
Oh, yes. I will try my best to see.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Beautiful.
You can see a maize here and sunlight. So in Kumbu, we cultivate a lot of maize in Cameroon, and there is a lot of sunlight. Okay.
Okay, that's nice.
Yep.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, buddy, how you doing?
Oh, good.
Morning, everybody.
Morning, Ellie.
Morning.
Good afternoon from Cameroon.
Good morning.
Morning, Tim.
Jim?
Hi, Ellie.
Hi, Don. Ernie will be here in a minute.
He must be getting your coffee for you.
He's a good boy.
Today.
Anybody stay up all night to watch election returns?
Nope.
We
Not here.
wouldn't be decided until today or tomorrow or the next day anyway, so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I gave up at midnight.
Well, I knew I wasn't going to have any more influence on it, so it didn't matter. It wouldn't be decided until later, so.
Barbara, Paul Micus. We might have a guest this morning, Tina Massey.
Oh, our speaker next week?
Yes, she's the speaker next week, so she said she might sneak in and see what's going on.
Great. She's not on yet. There's nobody waiting to come in, but I'll let her in when she shows up.
Sounds good.
Hey, Jim Blackburn, it was good to talk to you the other day.
I enjoyed that. How was the hunt?
It was awesome. We killed 100 pheasants, so I guess that's okay.
So
Yeah.
you've got meat? You've got meat for a while?
Yeah.
That's good country up there.
Yeah. They're having a record corn crop. The guy that we hunted on, he's hitting 150 bushels. You told me you guys were doing 220.
Yes.
He's complaining about too much moisture.
I don't think so.
Well, he says they've never in history, his family homesteaded in 1880, and they've never had so much rain as they've had the last couple of years.
Wow.
I.e. the 150. I traveled South Dakota quite a bit in the 60s and 70s.
Well, like I say, he said he's not complaining.
No. Hey,
Ibrahim, I was wanting to ask you, how's COVID doing there in Cameroon? You're muted.
I think in Cameroon it's not a big problem.
Are y'all having lots of issues over there with it?
No lockdown, and I think we have, as of Monday, about 523 active cases.
Wow.
Yes,
One of the doctors that's in our club, Dr. Komi Fali, right now he's in Togo, Africa. He went over there. He'll be coming back this Friday, and he was over there doing some surgeries and things like that. But he was saying that the COVID crisis over there has not gotten out of control. That a lot of people are kind of maintaining the distance, but it's bad over there also.
Oh, yes. I think here too, people are no longer practicing social
Okay, my
distancing.
clock is chiming. So that means that we have to start our meeting now. Share my screen here. And I know the fundraiser said that VJ was going to be the ROD, but I'm going to be the ROD today. And rather than a traditional prayer today, I'm just going to give thanks that we all belong to an organization that is not political, that we focus on doing good for others and with others. And an example of that today is our speaker that we'll hear from later. So that's my thanks, that I belong to a country and to an organization that focus on what's important. So with that, that's my thanks. And we will now give the Pledge of Allegiance. And if everybody would mute so we don't have a lot of feedback, I don't mind being the only one giving the pledge. So I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, Megan, you're our Sergeant at Arms. Take it away.
All right. Good morning, everybody. Do we have any guests today, except for the guest speaker, of course? So I know that we introduced any guests. I'm looking at who we have on.
Not yet.
Doesn't look like it. Okay. What about birthdays and anniversaries? Do we have any? Probably in the last couple of weeks, right? Unless you guys did birthdays and anniversaries at the glass blowing. I wasn't there, but
We
All
did
right, the last couple of weeks.
Herb,
Got one today.
Oh,
My wife Kathy, this is a big one for her. And that said, she has the respected privilege of sleeping in this morning. So I was thoughtful at least enough to place a card by her coffee mug. And but thank you. It's it's humbling to when your wife's birthday and you wake her up and then she says, "I'm going back to sleep." And okay, I'll see you about noon then. Okay, thank you.
that's great. Well, happy birthday to your wife. That's awesome. Okay, other anniversaries or birthdays? Okay. What about happy bucks? Anybody happy this morning? All right.
I'm happy that we met last Wednesday and went to the glass blowing. That was just a wonderful, wonderful experience. It made my day. And then I went home, had lunch, and went to the district office and labeled dictionaries for another social hour with my favorite people. So I thank you all very much for that. And it just really raised my spirits.
Bill Lawson.
Well, today I'm thankful that last night I took the final quiz on the communications section of the district leadership course. So one big one down and moving on to the next one. And thanks to Barbara and Linda for joining with Cole and I to give us some assistance for the communication section.
Bill, what clubs are you representing now as an assistant governor?
Oh, I have 10 clubs now. Do you want me to go through the list? I have them. But everything from Poto to Bristow. So, I've got all the ones in very rural Oklahoma. So it's none of them are very close. So Coweta and Bristow are probably the closest.
Megan,
Right.
Megan,
Yes. Oh, Don Watson? Yes.
hey guys, I got to spend last week in South Dakota chasing pheasants. And one more thrill in my life to be able to still do that at age 84. It's
Wow.
a happy day.
That's great. Good. Yay. Awesome. Okay, Mike Bibby, I think you had your hand up.
I did. I wanted to give a happy buck. The veterans in our club have got together last Saturday. We toured the J.M. Davis Gun Museum up in Claremore. Thank you, Kit, for setting that up. Had a great lunch at a rib crib, and we just had a good time. And it's great that the folks that went on that tour in Washington were able to get together again.
Great. Good. All right, I think Scott, I saw your hand up, Scott.
Yeah, I have a happy buck that my oldest daughter birthday is today. So I just wanted to give a happy buck for her birthday. This Melody.
Happy birthday, Melody. Happy birthday, Melody. Awesome. Okay. Ellie and Barney.
Yeah, Ellie and I took advantage yesterday to get out of the house and go check out the trees. They're absolutely beautiful. So if you haven't yet, this is one real benefit of the fall. And the trees were great. I think they'll last another couple of days, but boy, it was beautiful.
The only one. The only one.
All right, any others? No? Okay. Oh. All right. Well, for the joke of the day, this is actually Cole sent this to me, and it is, I think, kind of funny. We both were laughing. So, a priest, a rabbit, and a minister walk into a bar. The bartender asks the rabbit, "What do y'all have?" The rabbit says, "I don't know. I'm only here because of autocorrect."
That's great.
That's good.
I thought so.
Okay.
We all are victims of autocorrect quite a bit.
Yes.
So.
Sometimes very embarrassingly so.
Right.
Okay.
All right. Happy day.
Thank you. Okay, let's go back to last week's winner, or 2 weeks ago in the fundraiser. And I haven't seen anybody put anything in the chat room yet today about the mistake in the fundraiser for this week. But 2 weeks ago, it was Carolyn McGay. So I hope you got your Starbucks gift card because I have sent it on to you.
I did, and thank you.
So good. Enjoy it. You probably have to put another $1 or $2 with it to get anything decent, but okay. Next, we did go to the glass blowing school last week. We had about a dozen Rotarians, and I know not everybody feels comfortable going out, but those who did feel comfortable doing it, we spaced apart. It was very nice. It's a huge facility. We had a lot of room and a lot of fun. There's some pictures in the fundraiser, and here are a few more pictures of watching one of the employees out there creating. He was creating, as you can see in this picture, a Casper the Friendly Ghost kind of a glass piece. It was really fun to watch him do that and watch it come into being. And then over here, he was finishing off a paperweight. So I'm going to stop sharing for just a moment and show you my paperweight. If you go to speaker view, you'll be able to see it better. I don't know if it comes across very clear or not, but let's see, go this way. Linda and I both made a paperweight. Mine was blue and green, and I went out yesterday and picked it up. Linda, show yours. There you go. Say something so we can see you on speaker view. There you go.
Yeah, that was mine, and I did it kind of in an egg shape instead of a circular, and I think it turned out really nice, yellow and orange. And I forget what minerals. Do you remember what minerals were involved with the different colors?
No, I remember cobalt for mine, but I don't remember. I don't remember.
Eric asked me, and I was just, I don't know.
But it was fun to do it. It was fun to watch it and fun to have some hands-on. So
it was very fun.
So that was fun. Okay, go back to sharing the screen. Oh, okay, Linda, we're going to go back to you. Linda wants to talk about the Paul Harris Fellowships. So Linda, you want to take it right now?
Okay, yeah, kind of not awake, so this is kind of a financial thing, so don't ask me any questions, please. We'll talk about it later if you have questions. But I did send out a blast, or Kit did for me, on Monday about the November is Rotary International Foundation Month, and we are celebrating by having matching. And for everyone who is working on their Paul Harris, we're asking you to, whatever you give the club or another member in the club who has already reached all of their Paul Harris will match your donation toward your next Paul Harris Fellow. So be sure to read the blast, and I've sent already a few to a few people. I'm working down the list to give you how much you need to donate for your first or your next Paul Harris. So watch for those in your email, and we'll talk about it more. There'll be a meeting on the 18th, I believe, of November, which will focus on Rotary International Foundation and all the good that is done with the money that we give.
Great, and I'd love to see us get some more Paul Harris Fellows. So thank you very much for doing that.
Yes, and society too. A lot of people are signing up for this society, Paul Harris Society, which is guaranteeing to give $1,000 a month, or not a month, good grief. We're not that rich, are we? $1,000 a year. So join the Paul Harris Society too while you're signing up for things.
Yeah, and that's just a commitment that you will give. It doesn't mean you have to give anything at that point. So it doesn't even cost anything to go out and indicate that you will be one. So I encourage everybody to do that. That doesn't cost anything, and maybe it will encourage you to give a little bit of money down the road. Okay.
May I say something? This
Yes.
is Joy, your treasurer, and I just wanted to emphasize to those of you who are thinking about, I see something about $20.20 for polio day and also for the Paul Harris. And just a reminder, there's a difference between making your check out to the Sunrise Foundation and Sunrise Rotary Club. So if you were doing something like for Happy Bucks, you would just make that out to the club. But if you're if you're wanting money to go to in Polio Day or for Paul Harris, you should make your check out to the Sunrise Foundation. Is that correct, Mike? Mike Bibby?
If they make it out to the club and intended for the Sunrise Foundation, I will simply send the money on to the foundation to you, Joy.
Right, but it'd just be simpler if you just made it out to the foundation. So anyway.
Thank you. And that's a good reminder. Even though the End Polio Day was October 24th, we haven't ended polio. So you can still send a check in. And I'd like to see us, as many as we can, send a check in before the end of the year. That would be awesome. So thank you. You may remember we had Evan Taylor from Fostering Connections speak to us several weeks ago. It used to be Tulsa Advocates for the Protection of Children, and they've changed their name, but they're still in business and they're still working on helping children. One of the needs they have is, as you can see from the picture here, is socks. They would like to have children's socks. So if you have some gently used children's socks around your house, or you feel like you can go to Target or Walmart or somewhere and buy some, that's the address you can take it to, right down there on 51st Street, about 51st and Harvard. And Evan would be very, very grateful if you all would consider doing that. He also brought a box by my house as a thank you. You know, we thanked him for speaking. I don't know why he's thanking us because we haven't done anything, but he brought a box by of some goodies that I will share at the board meeting, which is next Monday night at the Marriott. So I will share that with anybody who wants to come to the board meeting. Okay, Mike Bibby.
Okay.
I'm going to stop sharing and let you share the screen now. Hang on, let me give you permission. Okay, it's yours.
Okay. I hope everybody can see me. Here's the pot of gold. We've got 20 tickets in here today. A lot of competition. When the money gets up to $340, people start contributing. So I pulled out a ticket. The ticket says, I don't know if you can see that, it says Barney.
He's the luckiest guy in the world.
Yeah, I'm sure Ellie would say that too.
What did she say?
I don't know.
No. You're unmuted.
All right. And Barney, you there?
I am.
Okay, there's your choice of tickets or
go
cards.
Let's go with number one.
Number one, okay. We'll stop the share. And if you can hear me, here's card number one. And we'll turn it around and it's something of hearts. Oh, well, the odds will be better next week because there's fewer cards.
Perfect. Thank you, Mike.
You bet.
Okay. Street School sent a request in to us. The board approved it by email and we sent it on to the foundation. I'm not sure if all the foundation has voted on it yet, but they asked if we would help supply potatoes for their Thanksgiving meal that they do for the students and the staff for their Thanksgiving. So I think it was like 300 pounds of potatoes, something like that. I can't remember at this point, but Joy and I got together and we've contacted Reesers and they are going to provide the potatoes. What we need is on November the 14th, no, on the 16th, we need to pick them up at Reesers and deliver them to street school. So I'll have Kit send out a blast next week sometime and see who's able to do that. I don't think I can fit that many potatoes. I think they're 30 10-pound or 30 10-pound boxes or something. I don't think I can get that many in my car. So I mean, I'm going to need some help with that. But that's something that we're going to do. Laura McGinnis enjoyed speaking with us very much, and she reached out to us to see if we could help with their Thanksgiving, and I'm excited that we're able to do that. So I'll get with Andy and see if it's passed the foundation votes yet, and then Joy can.
Barbara, it has. It just passed this morning.
Perfect.
One of the things that I need to make sure people understand is that what we're trying to do is we're sending 5 pounds home with each student, 5 pounds of potatoes, and we've got 10-pound sacks. So we're going to have to not only transport those sacks, but break them in half, you know, and maybe Reesers will give us their plastic bags or something like that so we can do that. So not only do we have some heavy lifting, but we need to break those 10-pound sacks into 5 pounds to distribute.
Right. I didn't realize that, but it won't be a problem to get sacks from them. So we will do that on the 14th or the 16th. And I'll check with them on the 14th just to make sure they got them in. And they're giving us a discount on the potatoes as well, which is nice.
Barbara, you might talk with them again. I don't know if you're thinking, but we have 130 students that they want to distribute to, and that's 5 pounds each. And so that comes to 650 pounds. You might want to recheck your calculations that you have with.
I think he's getting me 30 cases of. I'll look at the numbers worked when I went back and did it again. So I'll make sure when I talk to him that we get that correct. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, time for the weekly numbers. I added a line on here just because it's not enough to me to see the number of cases, which is the blue, and then the 7-day rolling average, which is the kind of orange. Those are, the cases are total cases for each day. The rolling average is like for the past 7 days. But I think it's important that we also see, in addition to the cases, what the death rate is. So I've added that number here, and it's the red. And you can see that, and this is cumulative. This is not each day. This is the total. So it's not going to go down. But I just hope that we get to the point where it flattens out and we don't see it continuing to rise. So I show that just as a means to tell you all that we're still not going to be meeting in person. We will have our board meeting in person because there are much fewer people, but we're not meeting in person yet. Next week is the last week I had set up for Zoom, so I'll have to set up a new number for Zoom, and I'll make sure that Kit reminds people not to go back to an old fundraiser, but to get to the new one. Okay, are there any other announcements before we get to Yaouaba, our speaker for the day? Anybody have anything?
Hey, Barbara.
Yes.
What day is the 14th that you're going to deliver those potatoes?
It's the 16th, and it's a Monday, I believe. Oh. I'm going to check with him on the 14th just to make sure they got the potatoes in and what the price is so we can get the check written. Okay, well, we're really excited to have Yaouaba Ibrahim here today. And I'm supposed to talk about myself, so I will talk about myself a little bit, but what I'm going to do is tell you how I got to know Yaouaba. My nephew, who is he's got his doctorate in engineering or something from Colorado, he met Yaouaba because he had an NGO, and his NGO was providing, I think, bicycles at first, then maybe computers, I'm not sure which, but he got to know him, not through Rotary, because he's not a Rotarian, but he got to know Yaouaba. And he and his now wife ended up going to Cameroon with my sister and her husband, and they had a wedding ceremony there, which I wish I had the pictures. I asked Andy if he had some, and he couldn't find any right away. So I don't have those to show you, but they were beautiful. It was a beautiful ceremony, very colorful, and it was just lovely. And that's how I got to know about Yaouaba. And we were going to meet in Hawaii at the International Rotary Convention, and then, of course, it did not happen. So we've not met in person, but I see him on the screen, so now I know what he looks like anyway. So if I run into him somewhere, I will know who he is. Yaouaba is a past president, past secretary, and past treasurer of the Kumbo Rotary Club. He is currently the project committee chair, And he also worked with the government in Cameroon on election management. And he comes from a cattle-rearing indigenous community where there's been very little schooling in the past. Girls' education is still an issue in Cameroon. So I'm going to introduce you, but now do you want to have control of the screen, Yoba, or do you want me to page through your PowerPoint?
Maybe when we come to our project, you can put on the PowerPoint.
Okay, well, I'm happy to do that right now. Let me go to a different screen. And, oh, I think I have to shut this one down. I'll learn how to do this someday, guys. Maybe.
We all think you do a great job.
Okay, there we are. You tell me when you want me to move the screen forward and I'll do it. Can you all see the screen?
Okay.
Good, thank you. Okay, it's all yours.
So am I permitted to go ahead?
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you, President Barbara. Thank you all the Sunrise Rotarians. President Barbara has introduced me, and I think it's enough. She knows much about myself. The one thing I could say is if you don't get my accent from the African background very well, please, you can hold me down and maybe I explain gradually. Like Barbara said, I am Ibrahim Yaouaba from the Rotary Club of Kumbo, District 9150, and we are 10 countries in that district. You can imagine the challenges we have in coordinating, uniting, and building the capacities of Rotarians. 10 different countries, and in most of the countries, you need visa before entry into many countries in that district. So I am also a Paul Harris Fellow. My PHF was awarded by one of our past district governor due to some of the projects I was coordinating at our club level. Like Barbara said, family background, I'm from the livestock background, indigenous Fulani community where the girl child education is a big, big problem. So we are trying to work on that, and hopefully we are making progress, especially in the country with the challenges that we are having, the crisis in the Northwest, in Southwest Anglophone regions of the country. Apart from that, I think Barbara well said, I work with the government, with election management body. We are policymakers, organizing and monitoring and managing of elections. And in Cameroon, I think summarily what our goal as Rotarians is to get simple, sustainable, community-driven projects. That is our main goal. We want to have simple projects that are adapted to the community, so much such that if we close our grants, the community is able to manage these projects. So the projects are designed with the communities. We work together with the local councils, the government, the traditional authorities, because we have powerful traditional authorities in the country. So each time we are running a project, we make sure all those factors are coordinated. And the most pressing issues or projects that we are working on include water, hygiene and sanitation, maternal health, and education. So these are the challenges that we have, especially clean and potable water. And we have worked with so many Rotary clubs around the world, including the Hanok Rotary Club in Canada, which is made up of about 40 to 45 Rotary clubs in the Ontario part of Canada. So we started this initiative back in 2012, especially with the Rotary Club of Kumbo. Remember, our club was chartered in 2009, and we have impacted more than 20,000 to 100,000 Cameroonians, especially in water, hygiene, sanitation, and education. We continue to work with other clubs like in the United States. Currently, we have a running project with a Denver Rotary Club in the US. And we are working with another Rotary Club, the Colorado Rotary Club, that I happened to meet some of the Rotarians while I was in Canada. They drove to London and we were able to share experiences and see how we could work with some Rotary grants. We have also Rotaracts, especially the youths that are coming together and being sensitized about Rotary, who are doing a lot with the community schools. They are encouraging their peers to read, to continue their education, and especially the elderly ones are playing a big advisory role to help the young ones go to school. And in my community, like I said, the indigenous community, it's very, very possible to see a girl being forced into marriage at the age of 14, 15, and 17 years old without even her consent. So we are trying to break through that tradition, that culture, and that religion to sensitize the traditional rulers, work with the government, and try to really show them the values and importance of sending the girl child education. Currently, we've developed a project that is called the Remote School Project. And we are working with those schools that are not reachable by public transport, where we have the Fulanis, the indigenous community that are good in cattle rearing. So we are really making an impact with other stakeholders and the organizations. So with your permission, Barbara, maybe you can go to the slides. Let me present a few things that we have been doing. The first picture you see here is called the Bios and Filters. These are all global grant projects with the HANOP Canada projects, especially the Rotarians in Ontario. We have difficulty in filtering water in Cameroon, and we developed this with the Quast. One organization in Canada developed these Bios and Filters that are very easy to manage, very affordable, and simple to operate. They require little or no cost. So this is one of the grants where we donated about 200 of such bios and filters to one community in the northwest region of Cameroon. Next. Yes, this is when I was the president. Back in 2014, we had this water project in one of the schools, a government school, and most of our water projects are by gravity. We get water from the hills, pipe the water through simple plastic pipes, get it into a storage tank, concreted with cement, stones, and gravel. And when we store the water, we treat it and then we pipe it down to the various communities. And it is also very, very easy to operate and manage. Next. Yes, this is a borehole, a well construction. You can see the community also enjoying water. This community had never had potable water, and it was difficult to get water by gravity. So we had this wonderful project that was sponsored by Guelph Rotary Club in Canada, and we constructed 4 of these wells to 4 different communities in Cameroon, especially in the northwest region. Can go to next. Yes, this is the well construction in process. Can go to next. All these are global grant project, and this is these are toilets in one of the primary schools. We know children have very, very big challenge in terms of hygiene and sanitation. So here we have about 6 latrines, 4 in front and 3 or 2 behind, where boys and girls are separated and the teachers. So we teach them wash facilities. We encourage them to use the toilets and make sure they wash their hands after using. And we have developed a small curriculum called the hygiene part of it, where the primary school pupils are being taught basic hygiene in schools, as well as the PTA, the Parent Teacher Association as well. especially back home, so that they can also implement what they learn in school back at home. Next. Yes, this is the community beneficiary toilet project as well, or call it latrine. Yes, this is how the toilet or the latrine look like from base to construction. It is simple, affordable, very easy to manage. You can see some of the vent pipes where ventilation also is a key factor, and the exposure is to the environment is being controlled, and so on and so forth. Let's go to next. Yes, continue please. Yes, toilets. Yes, this is how we construct the water project, especially from the hills. The community participate largely in the global grants. So the community must accept the project. First of all, they must be ready to provide local material. You can see the community on the picture, providing stones, sand, digging of trenches, and then we as Rotarians, we come in with the industrial material as well as technical labor. And when the community participates from the beginning to the finishing of the project, when we hand the project, they become masters of these projects, and then they are able to control and manage it effectively when we give them the little training we can. That's why we say our projects are community driven and very simple, easy to operate and sustainable. Yes, go ahead. Yes, this is how we construct the catchment. We get the water first at the catchment level. We dig down to the water table. We make sure clean water is obtained. It is filtered in these small tanks before it is being piped down to a larger storage tank by gravity before distribution. Yes. Yes, you can see the storage tank on my left, and on the right, you can see me supervising the project. This is how the storage tank is constructed up the hills, so much so that the gravity flow is very, very easy and very sustainable, especially in the dry season. Continue, all these are global grants here. These are now the plastic pipes that are buried in the ground. You can see the control channels, the chambers where the community can block the water, clean the chambers, and then open it back when need be, especially the water management committee that is trained at the local level, so much so that when we hand the project, they are able to manage. On the other picture, you can see the water management committee being taught how to operate the pipes, how to control the valves, and then clean the water before sending it to the community. Let's continue. Yes, the same process. Continue. Yes, this is one of the community projects. You could see Hano project sponsoring all these, and one of the beneficiaries raising his hands up to pray to God. He said he has never seen water since his childhood, and he's happy to have clean water before he can die. At least he is happy to have drank clean water donated by somebody he has never seen. So he raised his hands, prayed, and then continued crying. Continue. Next. Yes, so this is a poetry project we developed for the female inmates in some of our prisons in the country. Women have been suffering a lot of injustices in the country. It could be possible for a lady to be sentenced to 5 to 10 years imprisonment because of abortion. And when we go to these women, we discussed a lot. Most of them said they aborted because they didn't have what to feed the baby with. So they decided to carry on abortion, which is illegal in the country, and most of them were sent to prison. Another lady's story was that she did not have a phone, so she cultivated little vegetable and could call people to come buy from her. So she bought a small phone for about $15, and she didn't know the phone was stolen. When they realized, she was taken to court and then sentenced to 3 years in prison. So these are the kind of stories we realize a lot of people suffering, and we developed a project like this, poetry, where we could teach the women how to raise chicken, how to eat chicken in prison, and how to get income at the level of the prison. So much so that when they graduate from prison, there is a small take-home package that they take home, and then they could start up with at least 25 to 50 beds at home, which can sustain them, get small income for consumption, as well as sponsor their children to primary school. So this is a very, very good project that has helped more than 46 women as of now in the Bamenda and Kumbu prisons. So we are operating in 2 larger prisons in the northwest region of Cameroon. And the prison administration is participating. They are very, very happy with the project. The women are happy. They could share their stories, and we could see how to help them further back home. So much so that they should go back home at least with a little improvement, not as they came into that prison. Continue if possible. Yes, continue. Yes. So this is a maternal health project. Remember, I told you about the challenges we have in the country, especially with pre and postnatal clinics. This is a solar refrigerator donated to one of the health centers where they could store drugs, simple drugs. We realize in most of the health centers where there is no electricity, it is very difficult for doctors and nurses to store drugs because of power failure and the expenses in running a generator. So we developed this project together with the Rotary Club in Canada. We could get phones, and then we have a lot of sunlight, remember, which can help boost the storage system and store drugs in the health centers. Continue. Yes, these are delivery kits for the hospital and health centers. We had 4 health center beneficiaries in this project. And one of our greatest projects that inspired us in Kumbu back in 2009 when we were chartered was a maternal health issue, where we went to a small health center to greet a friend, and we realized there was a doctor who was conducting delivery and there was no light. So the doctor in that small health center was using a flashlight in his mouth to administer the lady delivering. So we were so touched. When we got home, we raised small money, got a generator, and donated to the health center. So these are the kind of projects that we think can really help the rural communities. Continue. Yes, these are delivery kits, beds. Continue, please. For the 4 health centers, continue. Yes, and here we also train the nurses. We have partners that will develop capacity building training programs for the nurses in hospitals. They could also use the funds that are generated at the local health centers to run the health centers. So we bring the nurses together from different health centers. When we give a donation like this, we train others who cannot really benefit from maybe the direct donation. They could benefit from the training, so much so that when they get back to their local health center, they could also improve. Continue, please. I hope time is on. Okay, this is the prison, one of the prisons in Kumbu. You could see the prison, the women inmate, the female inmates. When we successfully had one of the beds already in the market. So I visited the prison, went right into the prison department, the female department, with the prison superintendent, the technician who trained them on the livestock, I mean the beds, poetry project. So the women were very, very excited, very happy. They were very free to express themselves, and we could talk to the administration to maybe lessen the punishment, the kind of hard labor they used to give to some of them, and so on and so forth. Continue. Yes, still in the prison. Continue, please. Oh yes, this is a locally dug borehole or a well by the community in one of the schools that we donated water. This school have never had water in their lifetime, and there was difficulty in getting the water from the hills. The distance was too long, so we decided to offer them a simple borehole or a well. Continue. Yes, water at doorstep. Some communities. Continue, please. Yes. Women used to suffer a lot from this picture where you see women. The principal occupation of women is to cater for the home. So the most precious, their precious time is wasted either fetching for firewood or water. And water is the greatest challenge. So when we get water to their doorsteps, it lessens their work. It allocates more time for them to take care of their children and their families, as well as cater for the home with clean water, which also reduces the level of contamination for the children, because most of the children, when they consume water from a doubtful source, they are sick, they have diarrhea, typhoid, dysentery, and so on. They go to hospitals and the parents spend a lot of money. So when we get this water, the indirect beneficiaries or the direct beneficiaries, the advantages are that it reduces the level of contamination, the level of children falling sick, and so on and so forth. So there is greater income that is allocated back for the family to continue sustaining their children. Thank you, Barbara, for this show. I don't know how much time I have, but I hope you are able to get a few things that I shared. I thank you very much for listening. Like I said, all these projects you see are very simple, easy to operate, and much more sustainable. When we leave, when Rotary Kumbu is not there in the future, we are sure the community is able to monitor, manage, and effectively deliver the goals, even in our absence. We work with so many stakeholders, especially the local authorities, the traditional rulers, the government, the water management committees, and the village development organizations that are well set up. So we think that with this simple, easy to manage, and easy to operate system, the sustainability is there. And the minimum global grants funds, I think, is about $35,000 US. We were estimating a grant, a simple grant for $35,000 US could deliver water to about 18 to 20,000 community or indigenous communities or people in the country. So one of our Rotarian in Canada was estimating the cost of delivering or making potable water available to doorsteps in Cameroon as less than $3 or less than $4 per person. So if we could sacrifice a simple meal, a simple breakfast, by a simple donation, we'll be able to provide water, or we are sending a child to school in Cameroon. So those are the kind of little projects we do. Thank you. I hope I still have some time.
You do you have, Megan, go ahead and field the questions.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. So there are just some comments and questions in our chat. And the first one is from Linda. She says, these are wonderful examples of what clubs can do with the RI, the Rotary International Foundation Global Grants. Very timely presentation for the Rotary International Month. Thank you very much. So that's great. And then one question, Jim asked, sir, you apparently have an engineering background. Do you have an engineering background? Is that your background?
In engineering?
Uh-huh.
No, I am from the indigenous background. I said indigenous communities.
Okay, okay.
But we have a lot of partners, a lot of other NGOs that have expertise in domains that we, at our Rotary level, don't have. So we partner with a lot of technicians, a lot of different fields, a lot of NGOs, a lot of partners that are able to deliver the goods where our expertise are lacking.
Right. And then there's another comment, Janet, that these projects are amazing and exactly what Rotary is about, empowering people in their communities. And she's asking, are you speaking from a school? We're hearing children. So is that where you are? You are at a school or?
No, I'm speaking from home, but I work with so many schools.
Okay.
They are There is a school by me, I think about 50 meters away. That's where you could
Oh,
hear
okay. The children are out there. That's great. What
Yes,
time is it there?
It's 2:47 p.m.
Okay. All right.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. Any other questions out there? Does anybody else have any questions? VJ, you have a question?
Ibrahim, can you hear me?
Yes.
What do you all do about storing the water? Once you pull it out of the ground, once you purify it, how do you store the water so that it and create pressure so that you can move it other places?
Yes. So when we construct the water from the hills, you know, I said it's run through gravity, right? So when we construct the catchment up the hills, we make sure the storage tank is not far from the catchment so as to increase the pressure. So we concrete the tanks from, I think you've seen a sample of those storage tanks. It's concreted, it's well cemented, and it is covered. So when it is covered, we use larger pipes at the top or upper level. As we are descending to the community, we are reducing the pipes, the size of the pipes, so as to increase the pressure. Is that okay?
Any other questions?
I have limited experience with latrines, but I remember when I was at a Girl Scout camp that we had duties as we were there. Like you would have latrine duty, and so you would put a cupful of lime down into the latrine or whatever. Does the community have people who are doing that are maintaining the latrine? Sorry, just a general question from my limited experience.
Oh yes, we have the teachers first of all, and remember we said we have developed a small subject called the hygiene study, which we allow it with the teachers and the Parent Teachers Association, the PTA, which is solely responsible in the management of the schools. So we also teach them how to maintain other structures, especially the classroom, how to run the facilities and other donations that have been given either by the government or other charity organizations.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
Any other questions? Okay.
Abram, I don't know if you can see her, but Dr. Gifty Benson is with us. She's our international project coordinator for our club. And just so that the club is aware, Cameroon is the country and Ibrahim would be the receiving person for the container that you all are trying to raise the money for. But Dr. Gifty Benson is from Ghana and she is our international program chair.
Okay.
Yeah, I've put the screen up. We're trying to we have a container of medical supplies for Cameroon. It's ready to go. We just need to raise the money for the shipping to get it over there. So I've put the website on there. So if you all can help contribute to that to get this container to Cameroon, will be very, very much appreciated. And I think this is in the fundraiser newsletter, and if not, we'll republish it again because this is important. We need to get these medical supplies over to Cameroon. So thank you very much for speaking to us today. I think it's exciting to have somebody from halfway across the world be able to come and talk to us in Rotary. This has been really interesting, and I enjoyed your pictures. And as usual, I will close with a quote from someone, not me. Example is not the main thing in influencing people, it is the only thing. And that's from Albert Schweitzer. So we will meet again next Wednesday, same time, same place, and we will have a board meeting on Monday night at the Marriott. And if anyone would like to attend and partake of the goodies that Evan Taylor sent us, let me know. We just want to make sure we have room for everybody. So thank you all very much, and thank you again, and greetings to your wife and your children again. And it was nice to see them on the call in the very beginning. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
For the team. Thank
And
you.
there'll be a new Zoom number.
Thank you.
Will there be a new Zoom number?
There will be a new Zoom number, not for next week, but it'll be the following week. And we'll make sure we get that published. Okay, have a good week, guys. Bye.